I like how that's all you need to say, and then she just got it.
Got it.
That's not
good.
fair.
I'm waiting on you.
Clear my throat. Why did I leave my water?
Now I'm on live.
Now we're on.
Now we're on live.
We're live.
It's the Anything Can Happen show.
Hey.
Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our guest host, Brother Darren from Financial State of Minds. We have a part 2, y'all.
Hey,
yeah.
We have a very special guest that left last time with so much great information that we had to invite him back for a second go around.
Hello.
Because they were dropping so many jewels. We're like, no, we got to get them back in the studio.
And what a wonderful surprise it was for me too, because I didn't know that we were having this lovely lady back today.
Well, we have Miss Aisha Walker, world famous.
Oh, hello. I like
world
that.
famous.
World famous.
Yes.
World famous.
Call that in.
The CEO of BE-IMAGINATIve.
Be a what? Say what?
BE-IMAGINATIve.
Be imaginative.
I was like, be what? Who
Yeah,
now?
something was in my throat. It got warm in the studio. All of a sudden, I think our producer turned on the heat in the studio today. So
no, I walked into the studio.
That's
what happened.
Yes,
I think it's that lip gloss you put on a little bit earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it got it all hot and steamy.
It's all as always. As always. I call this baboon booty.
Whoa.
Because I wanted to be calling the lustiness that the baboon behind calls in the wild.
The wild.
Okay, yes.
You're making me think about my dear sis, Shirley, who I always shout out. She talks about the wild, untamed, undomesticated woman.
Yes, honey. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
So, Ms. Walker, can you tell some of our viewers that may have not heard your part 1 a little bit about your organization and what you guys do?
Yes, I would love to. First of all, I'm hella juiced to be here. What? Thank y'all so much for inviting me back for another go round, as that first conversation was so potent and powerful and healing for me. So I'm thankful. So I started an organization with some folks dear to me called BE-IMAGINATIVE, and we are a group of artists, healers, and community leaders, and we hold
doing
space.
Big things in the community.
Ashe, thank you. Thank you. We've been holding space for people navigating grief and loss, and really honoring the grief and the working through the grief, but also the celebration and the commemoration and the honoring of our ancestors through music, through film, through photography, through murals, through paintings, and just telling the narratives of empowerment while holding these healing spaces to shift the narrative for us. Because where focus goes, energy flows, and we like to focus on the power of healing and the power of our story.
Yeah, not too long ago, I saw the whole team over at Oakland Agency.
Ashe.
Y'all was all in the building.
Shout out to Agency.
Yeah. Y'all was there for the pre-party at the Black Joy Parade and everything. And man, when all of y'all in the same room, the energy just shifts.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
right.
It was a shift of energy. It was just, it's just y'all bring so much love into the community, and holding that, it just healing. You know what I'm saying? It's healing. It's love. It's like it's undeniable. And the beautiful thing about it is, like, every time that I see y'all, it's like, wow, like seeing stars emerge. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I see y'all, it's like your light gets brighter.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bless. And I excuse me. I'm hella thankful for that. My voice. Come on, y'all. Excuse me. But BE-IMAGINATIVE was founded in partnership with Soul Development. And it's just an amazing honor just to be doing this work alongside this family, this tribe. And you know, Kat, what you're saying about us and the work that we do is big reflection of the work you do, because I wouldn't be who I am had I not, you know, come into your spaces. No. I'm cool off that. I'm cool off that, because to whom he has called, he has equipped, and I'm equipped with exactly who I'm meant to be equipped with on this journey, in this lifetime, and on purpose, with purpose. So I'm not buying what you selling.
You're not buying it?
That's cheap, bro.
Well,
but thank you so much.
Yeah. So what are some of the plans for your organization coming up in 2023?
Oh yeah,
2023 coming up.
What is coming up? What's new?
Well,
what can we look forward to?
Yeah, there's amazing things happening as this work is divinely, supremely guided by our ancestors. There's some stuff coming up like today and this weekend.
Well, let us know. We got people on the live right now tuning in, so maybe they can pop up.
Yes. So we will be at Flow House tonight. Brittany Tanner is holding a healing, a sound bath that will happen at Agency. I'm sorry, not at Agency. It's going to be right adjacent to Agency Oakland. It's going to be at Flow House tonight. And
I think Brittany goes on. Is her class at 6:15? Is she there?
Girl, I gotta check the text.
I'll check too. But I'm planning on getting there early so I don't miss that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm the only one in the studio that's not going to be there tonight.
Oh,
I don't know why not. You have class.
I got to teach my class tonight, so
you're gonna be there in spirit.
I'm definitely gonna be there in spirit.
So I just really want to speak to the power of Brittany's voice, as she's one of the founders of BE-IMAGINATIVE. She's also a member of Soul Development, and she started her organization, the Song Remedy, to use her voice and the vibration of sound healing and sound frequencies to penetrate our bodies, minds, and souls to heal us. And her voice is so powerful, alongside. Right.
It really is.
Okay, so the last experience that I had, because I've been navigating some challenges right now with my family, and just hold my family in y'all loving prayers, please. As you know, I walked into Flow House, and Brittany, she just held space for us with her voice, with that singing bowl, and I broke. I just had to release, and them tears felt like they wasn't ready to come for a long time, but her voice drops us in no time.
Right.
And it was so funny because I'm all crying. She came up to me after, she was like, "You needed that, sis." But she was absolutely right that I really needed that experience, because I was just looking at the power of tears, right? Tears, of course, it has there's scientific evidence that tears they allow for a chemical release. It releases cortisol, the hormone that is a natural painkiller.
Yeah.
And it's an antidepressant, and it's all natural. So while we sitting up here like, I don't want to cry, or I gotta thug it out, or I gotta whatever.
But that's how we've been programmed to think that we are supposed to hold back all these emotions.
No, it's true.
It's one of those things that, you know, you gotta, like you said, you gotta suck it up. You don't cry.
Right.
You don't show any signs of weakness.
It's the concept that crying shows, quote unquote, vulnerability. We connect vulnerability to weakness.
Yeah.
And we need to do a better job as society of flipping. Actually, vulnerability is strength.
It is true. Come on.
It's strength.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's strength. Being the most powerful people, the most influential people, whether you see it on camera or not, folks.
That's a not.
They're vulnerable.
Right.
They're vulnerable.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
And also too, you know, if you're in some sort of traumatic experience, you know, trauma is my specialty for the past many years of my work. And you know, one time I was experiencing so much stress and trauma that my hair fell out, right? Yeah, so your body, your body will tell you, and then it's our job to listen or not to listen.
But a lot of times we don't listen to ourselves.
Well, for sure.
And it's so funny because, you know, working with the community, and I sit there and hold space and listen to people, and people will tell me exactly what they need, like through their healing journey, right? And I'm just there to remind them, and then to make sure to hold them accountable to what they said to themselves.
What you said you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, holding them accountable, you're great at that. I'm a little bit more of like the kind of the mother, the nurturer, supporter, you know what I mean? Because I'm not great at the accountability part when it comes to my clients. I'm more of the kind of like, I'm meeting you where you are, and then I'll hold you wherever you.
I think that's why we need all hands on deck, right? So we can vibe in who we are and what we offer.
That's right.
Because I think about the analogy with the sun, with the rain, with the grass. It's like the sun ain't sitting up here trying to be the grass.
Yes.
The grass ain't trying to be the sun to, or the water to water itself. And that's what we need in community, that we all come with the gift that we bring. And I really hope that folks slide through to Flow House tonight. There's a beautiful fundraiser, as Roz Nash and her crew over there. They've been really holding it down for the community healing piece. And another thing that we do have coming up that I'm really excited about is this year, Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. They put out a list every year of 100 organizations and people who are change makers in society.
Really? Who was on that list?
Well,
dying to know.
Imaginative has made the list this year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So well deserved.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. It is I just feel like it's this living testament and affirmation to the work that has been done so powerfully, and that continues to happen. Because when I say the ancestors' hands been all over this work, I mean, it's just like they be guiding us in ways that we cannot explain with no type of logic.
Can you give our viewers like an example? Because I feel like a lot of us get guided on a daily basis, but we've been programmed not to follow that GPS system.
No, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? So what allowed you to really tune in and tap into yourself and allow your ancestors to guide you to the work that you currently do?
Oh, wow. So I just have to come back to the origin story. I have to come back to the instructions that I got from the ancestors that gave us this vision for us to move in and to live by. So it was, I just remember bathing in my grief. I bathed in it. I was really depressed after a loss. I'm not even going to call it a loss, because it wasn't a loss. It was the transition of, my angel babies, my twins, who, it was me deciding that I wanted to connect with them in the African and Indigenous way, because when we are, true to our roots, the ancestors all across the world have always been honored by various different cultures. And if we really want to be real, Jesus is an ancestor, right? So like, I say all that to say that while I'm bathing in my grief and I have my eyes closed and I saw the vision for BE-IMAGINATIVE, it came to me literally in a meditation with my eyes closed. I saw pictures. I saw a photo of myself holding my ancestor children. I saw a photo of us in circle, like retreat style. I saw a larger art show. And I just remember after seeing that vision, I was having this conversation with my dear sis Lauren last night, Lauren from Soul Development, who has an album out now that's fire and just been aiding me in my healing process. Ashe, Lauren. I was scared of that vision, and I did not feel qualified in that vision. I'm like, okay.
What was the moment that you embraced it?
Y'all made a mistake. I'm like,
I am not the chosen one.
I am not the one.
Right.
Y'all don't mean this. Y'all mean this dude over here, right?
No, because you don't get it if it's not for you. You would not get it if it's just not for you. Right. Yep.
I think it's something I realize I have to surround myself around people who can see the vision and who can hold me accountable to the vision, and that can remind me of course, I got to hold myself accountable to the vision. Of course, I got to, keep pushing every step of the way. And in the moments where I feel weak, that's when I lean into my community. Yeah. Like, I don't know where we would be without the people who have really put their hands all over this, because there is a whole village, a whole community of people. In the times where I feel weak, somebody else is stepping up and holding us in the ways that are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know that it is absolutely meant to be, and that it's work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's work that the community needs. So many people in the community need, or else it the universe hears the call. It hears the call. And so if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And if it is not for us or for this time, then it'll be put off for another
time. But I think
I
multiple people hear the call, and then certain people take action.
I was just about to say that.
No, that's real.
I think what I believe in is the higher power always gives you a sign, but that's everybody. Yeah. But not everybody knows how to embrace the sign and then actually accept it and take action on whatever sign the higher powers are trying to give you.
Well, and they will give you many,
and it's usually many.
Because I remember one time, I don't know if it was like Maya Angelou or Ayama Van Zandt or somebody on Oprah, where they were talking about the universe or God or whatever will hit you, knock you upside the head. Mm-hmm. Then he'll throw a brick at you. Mm-hmm. Then he'll do all these things to get your attention. And then if you choose to not take the hint, then life and events and everything will go another way. But at some point, we either listen or we don't. It's your mind is free, your actions are free. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes if you're supposed to be hearing that call and taking that action, that you are given the strength that you need, you are gifted the strength that you need to move forward, right?
Yeah. So he has called, he has equipped.
That's
correct.
That. Correct.
And it just requires this level of trust. Mm. I also believe that it requires coming into the basic human experience, right? Because I also think about, like, trauma is real, and that we experience these adversities in our lives, and then we have to take time to unpack our bags. And when we don't unpack, we carrying this stuff along the way. Yeah. And while we're carrying it, like, we're supposed to be walking towards, whatever our soul's contract is in this lifetime. Like, this is the work we're supposed to do. But if we got so much on our shoulders and we not laying down or unpacking our bags, then it just becomes way more challenging.
And not just unpacking. Yeah, not just unpacking, but sharing. So like what you just said about trust, I think that's a big part of it, because sometimes we won't trust enough to share with others. We keep everything in because we feel like if we don't want people to see us. Yeah. Right. And I know I've experienced that a lot in my life.
We don't want people to see us because we felt like sometimes, people feel like they might be judged.
Yeah. Well, judged. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I think that, yes, true. Absolutely. But sometimes it's not even about being judged, because I think for some of us, we feel judged every day regardless. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes it's just that exposure. Like, it's hard to be exposed. As somebody that wrote a book and didn't want to publish it, and like right before it got published, all I did was cry because I was like, I don't want to be seen.
I feel like human beings, we want basic human connection. Mm-hmm. Like, we yearn for connection. We live for connection. Mm-hmm. And when we have that connection, because that's one of my favorite things about BE-IMAGINATIVE. Mm. It's one of my favorite things about soul development. It's one of my favorite things about the song music, the work that we do together. Like, when we hold space, there have been times where we ain't even started the program yet. Yeah. But the way that the space is designed, it's like the care and the love that's put into it is usually Brittany's vision. I'll be thinking about me and Brittany having Venus and a lot of Taurus and Libra energy to beautify spaces, right? But one time there was there was one of our community members who came into the space, and we hadn't even started yet, and she broke down into tears. And when she broke down into tears, she said that she just felt so safe in that space to be able to access those emotions that were pent up for years, probably even a decade or more, you know? And so I that's one of my favorite things about our work, is that we create the conditions for people to feel and to be safe enough to express and to be fully expressed, whether it's the pain, the sadness, the hurt, the joy, the anger, the whatever the case may be, the hope, all of it, because in the human experience it can all exist. And I do believe that the biggest thing for us as human beings is coming into a full expression of who we truly are, and that's how we reach our greatest power and purpose.
Yeah, and I really think it's important that we have these spaces, because I think one reason, I'll tell you guys the reason why I don't like bringing up my stuff, and ain't nothing that ain't been mentioned. Mine's is burden, especially as a man. You don't want to burden. I believe in energy transfer. So if I'm telling somebody something that is inherently depressing, that energy is going to transfer off of me into them, especially if they don't have the skill set to not receive it or adjust it or anything like that. And as a man, especially Black men, we are trained from social conditions, media conditions, and just everywhere that we don't want to burden the people we care about with our issues and stuff like that. So having the space, especially when it's a group setting where there's multiple people, I feel like it would be easier, just even for me, to disclose my issues, because it's not on one person. It's on
shared.
It's shared. So that energy gets spread apart. And now I'm like, oh, okay. It's not just one person who has to hear the burden of my issues. It's a team of people. They can all share it, and they can all help me work together to overcome whatever issues that I'm going through, or whatever issues that an everyday person is going through. Especially, and it doesn't have to be just a man thing. It could be a mother, and all they have is themselves. They're a single mom, and they have 2 kids. Who are they going to talk to? The kids? Like, you know, so it's very, I appreciate that you're doing this, because I come from therapy. I come from a therapy background, and we need more spaces, like actual spaces. That's why I asked you, what is there a physical space or just a class space? Because what you said is so true. Sometimes it's just creating the conditions.
Absolutely.
And you don't even got to do nothing at that point.
No, that's hella real. And you know, I mean, you know, I think about that a lot when it comes to the transference of energy. And I like, you know, so much love to you as you are mindful in how you are showing up in your life and in the lives of those around you. And one of the most powerful things is something that my dear sister Shirley told me when I was walking into our very first ever healing experience. She said the indigenous way is that we show up in circle, and that if someone cries and their tears, that those tears become a reflection for us to be able to look inward at ourselves. And that the invitation here is not for me to experience this energy transfer, like, oh, you put this on me. It's for me to look at you as my mirror, and for me to access my own stuff. And that you are here as my reflection, so that I can do my own inner work. And yes, and I also just want to name that, like, we all have our own inner work to do, and we're gonna trigger each other, and we're gonna reflect certain things that we don't want to see in ourselves. But I think that's the biggest thing, and it allows us to take greater responsibility for what is ours, and also to release what is not.
Right. I think it's important to sometimes, like what you were saying, Darren, about putting your burden on somebody else. I think sometimes it's okay for us to trust the group that they will make that decision for themselves. If they are able to hold that space for you, then they will. If they are not able to, then they will feel free to leave, or you know what I mean, or fall back. Exactly. Because I think a big part of this issue is feeling like you're going to burden somebody else with your issues, when in reality, if there's a group of people in a certain space, they're expecting and even wanting and welcoming you to lay your burdens down.
Right.
Right.
And I hear you on the piece, right? In the group setting,
Yeah.
it makes sense to, because we're all holding this together.
Yeah.
And in the moments, maybe it's a one-on-one situation.
Yeah.
I've been learning from my friends. I have amazing friends who hold me accountable and show me how to show up in community too. And another thing we could just do is ask, like, do you have capacity
That's
for me to
absolutely
share
right.
what I'm navigating right now? Because I really need and would love somebody to talk to. And I'm finding that communication.
How do you not disappoint somebody if you're not in that space to hold? Because I think that becomes an issue too, because they see a friend, a loving friend in need, and they want to hold that space, but sometimes they don't have that capacity because they have their own things going on.
Yeah, no, that's hella real.
Yeah.
But I think that, especially if we're talking about adults, like
well, just because you physically look like an adult doesn't mean you're mentally
that's
mature
true.
as an adult.
That's something I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, you have two choices. I deal with that all the time.
We all got our inner children though. And so you might catch me on a day where my inner child hanging all the way out. And I let her handle the whole situation. Like but I do feel like it is our responsibility as adults to name what it is that, if someone come to me and they tell me, I need to talk to you right now. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. Sis, I don't have the capacity right now because I'm barely holding on myself.
Right.
How did you get to that space though? That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people,
that is boundaries. And I talk about boundaries constantly.
But a lot of people don't create those boundaries. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like they get to a point that they feel like, okay, I'm this person's friend. I have to be there for them.
I used to be like that. I used to be like that because of my background is all in therapy and social work and stuff like that. So then you become that person that everybody comes to.
But at a point where you don't have a capacity for somebody else, even if you're trying to hold space, you're not doing that person any kind of justice at that point, because the energy that you're holding for them is like it's at a lower frequency.
But that's where communication has to happen, because you're not doing anybody any favors if you're not in a position to support that person.
That's hella true. That piece around boundaries, right?
Sure.
And it's just taking a lot of practice. I think for me and my experience, I study cardiology.
Oh, we got to get into that.
Yes, we do.
We got to tap into that today. We got to have our live viewers tap in.
Oh, that would be dope. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Get some readings on.
Yeah, I'm down for that. But I cardiology is the study of the 52 deck of playing cards, and it's rooted in ancient Kemet, also known as Egypt, and the ancients believe that every day carries an energy, and when we're born on a certain day, we carry that energy with us for the rest of our lives. So the day that I was born on a Jack of Hearts day. The Jack of Hearts is the Jesus Christ card, right? Jesus Christ, he came here, he lived, he was for the people, he died for our sins. He was a sacrifice for a greater good, for a greater higher spiritual love. That is the energy that I come into this lifetime with. I'm about to cry. Because I can literally sacrifice myself and the things that should probably be non-negotiable for a greater good. And there have been hella times where I'm like, did I eat?
Right.
Did I sleep? Did I make food for my kid? Did I do the things that are supposed to be done so that I can actually be around to, for this to even continue? And those are I think about a pendulum, when we talk about how do we get to the point where we can even articulate that. I feel like it's coming all the way to the other extreme.
Yeah.
That helped me to come back over here. And then, okay, maybe I'm too far over here. Okay, now I got to find, the time. Finding the sweet spot. And it's going to be different every time. It's going to be different at any given moment. But I just feel like, the cardiology has helped me so much. My community has helped me so much. I remember being burnt out.
Oh, yeah.
I remember being burnt out. This was BE-IMAGINATIVE won Northern California Regional Emmy for a film that we had done in partnership with KQED, Soul Development, It's a beautiful story, and it was just that year there was so much happening. We had a big celebration. There was, it was just a lot that we were navigating, and I remember going so hard. Mind you, I was in a period in the cards. It's the 10 of spades period. It's called the workaholic card. So that's like, in any given moment, we can be sitting in the energy of a particular card. And I feel like I burnt myself out so much that I couldn't move. Like I had to lay in the bed and I couldn't move every day physically. Yeah. And I felt so helpless that I had that experience. And I really had to lean into my community so much. I remember my sis Britt telling me, girl, you need to go work out, like, because I felt like I was in a rut, like I wasn't able to move. So I remember it was around the time that me and Kat had got together. I think it was maybe my dad's birthday, who's an ancestor, as me and Kat, our fathers are best friends, and they're both in the ancestral realm, showing up and showing out. And it was a day that we were honoring them, and that was it'll be 2 years in October, when Kat was like, hey, you should just, come by the house and I'll train you and my wife. That's what he said. And I have been working out with Kat ever since. And that's something that I developed to begin this relationship with myself and preserving myself and my boundaries and my commitment to myself. I feel like it started through my journey working out with you. And then, you go work out with Kat. You're not just about to go work out. Like, that's not. You about to get your soul worked out.
Yes.
Your mind, your heart, your spirit.
Don't scare nobody.
Your soul. I mean,
you have to be ready for an entire experience.
Yes, an entire
if you are going to work out with Kat Fitness.
Yes.
No, we meet you exactly where
he does.
are.
He does.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's hella non-judgmental.
Sure. Oh, totally.
It's been times where I'm like, dang, I just ate a burger and some fries. And he's like, why do people even come to me telling me these things? I'm like, do you?
Right.
He does. He will meet you where you at. And that's where I was at. I was in a rut. That's where he met me. And, but I just feel like it takes practice. It takes little steps, little by little, practicing. Sometimes we might get it wrong. Sometimes I might rub somebody the wrong way. Okay. Then I go back, I can repair. If that relationship is that much important to me, you know what? I really handled that wrong. I should have, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
I do feel like that those boundaries are essential when we're talking about being healers, when we're talking about being teachers, when we're talking about being like people of service to the people.
Right.
That self-preservation is the first law of nature. And that's something that we constantly have to come back to, because I feel like Kat, you do an amazing job at like pouring from an overflow. And I like, you be so much in spirit, you be so much like in your intuition, allowing yourself to be guided, like, what do the ancestors want from me today? And I'm like, bro, what the heck?
Yeah.
Well, and I think that we talk a lot about burning out and not having appropriate boundaries that are in alignment with our health and our healing and our, not just our self-care, but our care of, like you were talking about, did I cook for my child and all these other things. And one of the things that I am really kind of into right now is, because I've had many experiences with burnout and overwhelm and people coming to me for too much. That has happened in my life for years. But now I'm really into rest.
Yes, come on, let's go.
I'm really into rest.
Let's go.
And I recently read Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto by Trisha Hersey. Honey, that book is life-changing. And I was already in that space in my own head, ready for that. So I was already ready for that. Me and one of my business partners, shout out to my girl Amy, we've spent a lot of time talking about rest and its connection to healing. And they are hand in hand.
They are.
And you cannot have one without the other.
And joy and fun.
And
so,
absolutely.
We about to get into the second half of this show real quick, y'all. We're going to take a quick music break. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. I'm like, and my son here, he'll let me know. Like, he tells me, he's like, I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be, you know, he will hold me accountable. And I've been basing my relationship with myself, allowing my relationship with my son be like the indicator of how I'm doing. Because when I notice that when he's doing well, it's usually I'm taking really good care of myself. It's usually I'm working out.
How old is your son? How old is your son?
He's 8.
But you know, I don't know if we had this conversation, but that's the point that when I started my business, I didn't have any boundaries. First of all, when I started my business, because I had to make money, I had to take care of my family.
Yes.
But I realized I was getting so far away from why I wanted to start a business and the freedom that I wanted to have, that I had to look at myself and say, what does my perfect day look like?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how much time do I actually want to work? How much time do I want to spend with my kids? How much time do I want to spend with my family? How do I want to be there for my mother? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things, I have to factor all these things into my daily routine. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't set these boundaries now, when am I going to set these boundaries?
Never.
Exactly.
Never.
So I had to stop and reset and start all over again. That's why COVID was a blessing, because it made me do a hard stop in an instance and give me the chance to reinvent everything.
True.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I was working.
Here,
Let me go chase the money.
What I noticed in our culture is, you guys know, I dated an Indian girl. Very different culture. And what I noticed in African culture is our boundaries tend to be a little bit looser compared to other cultures, especially white culture. Like, it's the most mind-dividing culture. But if you go to African culture or a lot of Latino cultures, especially Mexican, there's a community sense. So everything is community.
It's held by the
right. And that includes, and because these cultures generally don't have as much traditionally as, say, a white culture, you're sharing yourselves. That's your highest commodity, is yourself.
Yeah.
So that's why we tend to be the best
seconds,
healers.
Yeah.
So,
and let's not even talk about
hand sanitizer.
Oh, and let's not even talk about how women.
Back 10 seconds.
You know, people are always coming to us.
Right. It's always us, right? Why are we always the healers?
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our guest host, Darren from Financial State of Minds. We have Miss Aisha Walker from BE-IMAGINATIve.
Hello.
World famous BE-IMAGINATIve.
World famous BE-IMAGINATive. What I do?
Award-winning.
Award-winning.
And award-winning as
well.
You gotta throw those tags out there.
Let's just keep it real.
Bless y'all.
So it's we were just talking off air about boundaries.
Yeah.
And the importance of those boundaries. Like, what do you feel? Can you share a little bit about what you were saying about having that space with your son and understanding those boundaries of when you're doing the work for yourself, that relationship?
Yeah. So I was just saying, lately, I've been allowing my relationship with my son be an indicator of how well I am doing. Because usually when our relationship has a certain level of ease, it's because I'm taking really good care of my son. Like, I am sleeping, I am eating, I am working out, moving my body, I am prioritizing fun with us. Like, I am, and in the moments where I am rushed or I'm not taking care of myself, usually there's some level of, it's just some challenges that I can experience. So I've been very, very intentional about paying attention to that relationship that I have with him. And it was so, and also having conversations with him, letting him know that, I and we adults are a work in progress, and that we're going to get get it wrong. Sometimes we're going to get it right sometimes, and we're still figuring it out. And that there are things that you're going to go through that you're going to have to undo, and that you're going to have to spend some time in therapy unpacking, as I am doing for my family and my relationship with my parents, my grandparents. And that's just the work that we have to do. And
but for you to even say something like that to your son is huge, because because
but
you
why
know,
not? Why not?
But
you know?
how we grew up and how we were raised, we didn't really have a voice. We couldn't express ourselves to our parents.
Stop that talking.
Right. Yeah.
Stop them cheers.
But it only takes one adult, and you are that adult for your child, which I think is kind of unusual. It takes one adult to teach that child that your voice matters, right?
Yeah.
That your feelings matter. My mom and I have talked about this many times, because she was definitely not that person. She was raised the way that she was raised, and if I went outside of the box, which I definitely am known to do, have been known to do my entire life, it really sent her in a like, who are you and how did you get like this? Because I haven't raised you to be like this. But I did have a couple of adults in my life. Particularly, I'm going to shout out my girl Grace. Grace's mom was very, at least with me, was very, oh, you deserve to be heard. You deserve to say what you. So yeah, and so you know, she was
Your
by
opinion matters.
Yeah, she was by no means like what you would consider somebody that was perfect in every way or whatever. But that was critical.
But that was a seed that needed to be planted
critical
in your life.
In my upbringing, absolutely. And I thought as a child, I was like, oh, okay. So there's not something wrong with me because I am going in this direction that is unusual or whatever. And that did stick with me my entire life, I think. And my Aunt Liz is like that too. My Aunt Liz is like seriously her own person. She does not give a what about what anybody thinks about her. And so it is good to have those people that will see your quote unquote strangeness or whatever. And even if not, even if there's nothing going on, to still just come to you with that information, to just come to you and say, you know, these things are valid. And if you're feeling this certain way, there are other resources, there are outside resources, there are therapists and counselors and people like that you can go to that can assist you with this. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift that you have given your son.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to one of our online viewers, Miss Mary Jane. She says, I'm trying to build my business, but I'm hoping to do it on my own terms.
Oh yeah. That's the I feel like that is the purpose of even starting a business. And the analogy that I love so much is like building a business is like we get to have a custom suit or a custom like attire. Like it can fit me in all the places that I need it to squeeze me tight and it be loose in all the places that I need it to flow. And that I think that's where values come in. Like when we talk about the mission, vision, values of the organization, of the business, that is going to be what drives that's what drives the whole business. And if we can be steadfast in our values, that's where the magic happens, I believe. And one of the big values that we have within BE-Imaginative is it's our family. It's our family.
Before I don't want to leave just a couple minutes for this portion of the show, because I feel like you do have this gift with the cards, and I want you to share that gift with our viewers. Can you do like maybe a quick reading with Miss Kenya and Darren and
why'd you say us? She's sitting right next to you.
I know, but actually, I want my red. I volunteer myself.
Start with Darren. Start with Darren.
Yes.
Kat's trying to push the book a little bit. But before we do that really quick, I want to say this to our listener, Mary, right, about starting a business. I just want to throw this out there really, really quick. That it may be unconventional, whatever your business is or whatever your thing is. But girl, if that is your passion, or even if you think it's your passion, because we can stumble and try different things and be like, this is it. Oh no, this is it. You know, you might It might not be an easy road, but even taking the smallest step, starting with the smallest, tiniest step, is a move in the right direction. So just trust yourself, trust your instincts, and go with it.
And the other piece that I want to add that has gotten me through the trials and the tribulations when it just seems like there's so many obstacles along the way is having that why. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
Why am I doing this? And I have to remind myself over and over and over, because the why is going to get you through the dark times. It's going to get you through the bright times. It's going to get you through the pain, the suffering. It's going to get you through the celebration. It's going to get you through the entire thing.
And it's okay for your why to change.
Right.
It's okay, no matter what it is you're feeling or thinking or doing. It's okay.
Right.
It is okay.
And then, I definitely want to throw in the financial piece. Really, I'll just be frank. The way that answer the question directly, the answer is do not get, if you want it on your own terms 100%, then I would do your research on your business, and then you want to own it on your own. You're the sole owner, and you do not have any investors. That is the only way you can have your business and you have 100% true control.
If that is what you want.
If that's what you want. If you want. There's nothing wrong with partnerships. I actually encourage partnerships in businesses. But if you want it on your own 100% terms, and you don't have to worry about people telling you what to do as an owner, you don't take investor money. Never take it. And
come on.
Gifts and grants.
And what's crazy is the episode you guys bombarded me on today was me talking about how to set your business up to get to maximize business loans and business credit. So you don't have to go to investors. So you can set up a business with literal tens of thousands of dollars within 4 months of opening the business. If that's possible. And that's how I feel you work on your own terms. Is I don't have to take money from anybody. I just take it from a bank, and they just want their little 5% back, and that's it. That's
so hear it out, Marion. Do what you need
possible.
to do.
It's absolutely possible.
Yes. But anyway, let's move on, because I want you to get your reading.
Yes, I do. I'm excited.
Real quick, shout out to Optima Cooperative and the business coaches that they come with. Shout out to my business coach, also Willis White, from SCORE. They provide coaching for businesses at any stage and almost any type of business coaching. So I those are my recommendations too.
Love it.
Okay,
yes.
so what are you going to need from Brother Darren to give him a proper read?
Brother Darren, I just need the day he was born.
I was born January 29th, 1990.
Okay. 29.
Let's look.
That's a powerful number.
January 29th, 1990. That's a Jacket Club day.
I think I got these pants in 1990.
Shout out to Malik Deshawn, as his birthday was yesterday. He's my advisor in the cars. He's the one who taught me and helped me a lot with my foundation and understanding of cardology. But the Jack of Clubs is a very special card. The Jacks are the initiates on the deck. They are here to usher in new experiences and it's the initiation from the numbers into the royal suit. So the Jacks come with a certain royalty. It's the youngest member, very jovial and youthful. Youngest member of the royal family. So oftentimes I'm a Jack. I mentioned that earlier. I'm a Jack of Hearts. So we like to play. We like to have fun. We like to be very youthful. Some people might refer to us as immature. Very, very creative. The Jacks are extremely creative cards. And you have the genius card. It's the same card as Einstein. So information probably comes to you in ways that is a gift. And you are supremely protected because all cards of the royal suit are also protected.
Interesting.
Love it.
The clubs rule the mind, communication, intelligence, teaching and learning. So you having a radio show.
He definitely teaches.
And having it,
Yeah, that's fairly accurate.
It resonates.
Yeah, fairly accurate. Yeah.
All right, Miss Kenya.
Oh, sure. Okay, so you need
your birthday.
my birthday.
And your social.
The card number also.
EIN too.
Yeah, that'll work.
July 11th. Do you need my year?
July 11th? Get out of here.
Yes.
What's that?
No.
What? Why?
That's not true.
Why?
That's my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
It is?
That is. Why did I not
How
know
did we
that?
not know that?
Why? It took this show for this.
How funny. And that's also my friend Athena, my friends Athena and Greg. That's their wedding anniversary also.
Yeah.
And yeah.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
I love that.
Oh,
So then, as I being that's your anniversary date, then this reading would be true for your marriage also.
Oh.
I should have asked for permission to say that out loud. Hey, anything can happen,
Anything can
right?
happen.
That's right.
That's it.
Anything can
Name the
happen.
show.
Yeah, so you were born on the four of diamonds day. So the 4 is the foundation. If we think about 4 legs on a table, it's sturdy, it's solid, it's gonna hold us up. And the 4 is about stability. It's also a protection number. And if I see the 4 diamonds, I know that my money is protected. I know there's financial stability there. And matter of fact, it is the card of financial stability.
Oh.
So this is an amazing card that I would love to see. It's also interesting because there are periods that we go through. Every year we get a card, every 52 days we get a card, every 7 years, every 13 years. Right now I am in a 52-day period of 4 diamonds. Mm-hmm. So when I'm in a certain period, then I expect for those certain people to come into my life and I look for them. Mm-hmm. But yes, the 4 of diamonds, it also sits on the Neptune line. Neptune, if we're looking at the grand solar spread, for those of you who are listening, you can Google a grand solar spread, but this is the grand solar spread. And the grand solar spread in cardology, this bottom line is the Neptune row. And Neptune is the planet of dreams. Ooh. It's the planet of dreams, illusion, amongst other things. But I whenever I see folks who were born on the Neptune line, I would ask questions about your relationship with your dreams, because Neptune penetrates worlds. It has no boundaries, right? So it can get through to, you could probably connect with people in your dreams.
I definitely have. Absolutely, for sure have. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and I'm very connected to my dreams. I think I always have been. Beautiful. I always have been. Like they feel like my alternate reality, and not.
What if it's your reality and this is your alternate reality?
You would say that.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? Maybe, because sometimes.
What if this is all a dream and we just wake
questions.
up and then we just, I was dreaming that whole time.
You've been
on planet Earth.
Oh my gosh. Maybe Mr. Twilight Zone over there.
Now we're all going to start tripping in the studios.
Oh my goodness.
In reality now? Let's catch up.
That sounds amazing, and also I can feel that. I can really feel that. Yeah.
So, if people are interested in getting like more readings from you, Miss Walker, where can they find you to get readings?
And do you do readings?
I do. I do readings. It's an invite-only experience right now, as I am holding boundaries with myself and holding space. But I do have a website, and it's password protected for a reason, as I feel very protective of myself. But also I'm going to share with the folks who are committed to that anything can happen, because I feel, the vibe with y'all, and I feel very safe with y'all in the work that y'all are doing. But my website is Ishii Taught Me, ESHII Taught Me, TAUGHTME.com. And the password is the same thing, Ishii Taught Me. So you can go to you can go to my website and you can book a reading with me. You can also pull up tonight.
Where at?
Flow House. I will be there.
Do we have an address for Flow House?
We got to get the address for Flow House.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will also be at Flow House.
Come on.
I keep posting the flyer in
what
my
are you
stories.
Gonna be doing?
So I'm going to be teaching PYWK tonight at Flow House. And that stands for, I don't think I can say the first word, but let's just say the first word.
You can't say that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Can I say that, Felicia?
Can Felicia?
Am I allowed to say the P word
word on here?
as referring
to blurt that out?
as referring to female genitalia? I can say it.
For it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm
Really?
teaching pussy yoga with Kenya. I'm teaching pussy yoga tonight.
I just love that how you say that.
You said really?
Well, it is. And it is one of my favorite words and one of my favorite things. And so yeah, I will be teaching that tonight at 7:15.
So how long is your session this evening?
I don't really know, because I feel like all of them might be kind of short because it's just kind of like an introductory, but there's dance classes, there's other yoga flow classes, there's Brittany's sound bath tonight, and the whole thing, all the classes and stuff start at like 6:15, I believe. And so yeah, definitely come through if you are a person who owns a uterus.
What if you borrow one?
It's 2036 Livingston Street, Oakland. 2036 Livingston.
2036 Livingston Street in Oakland, and it is a beautiful space. And yeah, we would love to see you there.
Yes,
Well, I
same.
know Miss Walker has a hard stop.
I love y'all.
And
And
I
thank you.
want you to give all your platforms, whether it's your website, social media outlets, where people can find you, get more information about BE-IMAGINATIVE. Can you drop those real quick before you head out?
Yes, definitely. You can find me on Instagram, Ishitami, ESHIITAUGHTME. And then BE-IMAGINATIVE is at BE-IMAGINATIVE Collective on Instagram, also Facebook. Hit me on my celly, make my hotline bling. You can just holla at me when you see me. Blessings. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Thank
I love
you
y'all
so much for
Especially
being
the second time.
here.
Oh,
Yes.
man, it might be part 3 to this one, man.
I sure hope so.
Yep.
Geez, you might be a regular on the show.
I would totally love to provide readings for y'all and your viewers.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and tune in every single week. You can find us on IG at ach.show. Come be a part of the ACH family, y'all. We appreciate you. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace. Why gotta tell me to do that? I like
Trust me,
that.
they didn't tell me.
Peace.
We
They
always
didn't
do
tell
that.
me.
We always do that.
And I was just like, I figured it out.
Thank
Thank
you
y'all
all.
so freaking much.
Thank you all for joining today.
Come on.
See you
Perfect
guys.
time.
Watch the replay if you missed some of it. And I hope to see you guys at Flow Oakland tonight. If you are the owner of uterus,
I'm renting one, y'all.
a vulva,
I don't have one, but I'll rent
Who said
one
it?
to
What if I'm
come.
borrowing one?
that type of
What if I bring-
genitalia.
If you